LimeVibe คอมและวิ Lime คอมและวิ Vibe LimeVibe คอมและวิ Lime คอมและวิ Vibe LimeVibe โอ้ LimeVibe
Good night, everybody, and welcome once again to another LimeVibe Live podcast. Please hit that like and subscribe button on Facebook and YouTube right now. Click like and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page right now. Tonight's going to be hot. I'm Yori Kemp, your podcast virtuoso for the evening, along with my wonderful and beautiful and ecstatic co-host in this wonderful blouse she has on, Miss Kimberly Ramcalawan. How you doing tonight, Kim?
Oh, you have me looking down. Good night, Yori Camp.
Yes. How was the day with you, Kim?
Today was actually rather interesting, but it's still hot here in Trinidad.
Oh, it's hot.
With some really high temperatures. It's very humid. And then we lost water. Water supply was cut off today. I'm guessing that they're trying to ration the water in a sense. Okay, we're going to experience a drought. So they're gonna send water some areas more than the other or less, have you on a schedule.
Wow. So you guys going through a water shortage. That's scary. And it's hot summer?
Yeah, well, it's not summer. It's still dry season.
Still spring. Wow.
What I'm hearing is that there's now a warning for the El Nino effect.
Really?
So when it was La Nina, when we were getting a lot of rain, it's now El Nino, and they're seeing that a band of heat is moving west to the east, and that is causing and that is what is causing that dryness in the air and the sweltering temperatures.
You want to hear something funny about the El Nino? Let me tell you something funny with some ignorant people that I thought about El Nino. When we first started hearing about El Nino, I think it was back in the late 90s, right?
Yeah.
When we first heard the phenomenon of an El Nino, people were looking in the phone book and looking for an El Nino and calling him and rowing him out for the weather.
Oh my gosh, that is so horrible.
That's so ignorant, isn't it, right? And of course, it had to be Americans, right? So our American buddies, I'm sorry, Americans. Yeah, it was Americans. They were looking in the phone book and looking for the name El Nino and calling up El Nino and actually cursing the man out for the bad weather.
Right now, according to, I saw a report on the Weather Channel earlier today that right now there is a band of heat along the equator.
Wow.
And it's moving from South America towards Asia. And it's causing that heat and it's causing that warm air. So I believe all of that is going to also contribute to the sargassum seaweed because it will make warmer waters especially.
Yes. Speaking of movement, when does East and West actually start? You ever thought about that? Like what would the people in China say about the people in North America? Would they say that's their West or that's their East?
You've been to China, you tell me.
I don't know. It just came across my mind. Like we keep calling it the Far East, but what would the people in China say? The people in America, wouldn't that be their
Far West?
Yeah, I know, right?
I think I've heard them say the Far West. I've listened to some reports and I've heard that. So yeah.
That show you how self-absorbed we are in the Western society, right? Everything revolves around us, right?
Oh boy, yeah. I guess so. That's all colonized thinking,
Yes.
Showing up there.
That's Western arrogance, to be honest with you, That's European and Western arrogance, which we are a part of, even though we're African and Indian, even though we're a part of that, even though we are of a different ethnicity. We're a part of Western cultural thinking.
I can't
you
afford
don't see that way?
I can't afford to be that way. In Trinidad, we have the East Indian community. They are of Easter, the East India heritage.
Yes.
That's people who look like me. And then we've got the Chinese. So you can't afford to be that ignorant because our cultures are all merged. So you have to be, you can't be thinking that way. And even though there is the whole geopolitics thing that you have to constantly consider, when it came to, like when COVID struck and how the Americans were getting on, it's a Chinese disease. We
Yes,
could
yes, yes.
put it that way.
What Trump called it, the Kung Flu. Oh,
Oh,
he's disgusting. Hey, he's leading in the polls in the United States. He's being my boy DeSantis, Ron DeSantis from Florida, governor of Florida. He's winning in the polls. I mean, Trump is really, on top, and he hasn't even declared he's going to run for election yet. Everyone thinks he's going to run. So wow, Trump may be back because I don't think Biden could go again. I think the Democratic Party has to find some other candidate other than Joe Biden to run in the next election.
I mean, this whole thing about age, you've got
Yeah.
this very mature person in their 70s, and you know that they can't handle another term.
No.
How are they going to keep in touch with the younger population?
Exactly.
Being able to function. Retirement age is 65 in the United States.
Yes.
Got a president close to 80,
Yes. But if you know something, if you see the difference between Trump and Biden, they're about the same age. Trump is a very different 70-plus-year-old man than Joe Biden. Joe Biden, you could tell the wear and tear on Joe Biden compared to Donald Trump. I think it's the wealth, The wealth keeps these people. Yeah, the wealth keeps them healthy and happy.
I think it's a matter of frame of mind.
You think so?
I think so. Trump is very he's a narcissist, so he's about himself. And that keeps him going. And he believes, because he is a narcissist, they have this thinking of being invincible in that sense.
Yes.
Thinking of being invincible, you can go forward on your own without anyone else. You don't give a toot about anyone else. Also, his personal life is another story. So yeah.
I think we've long since divorced these, especially the American presidency and American politicians. We've divorced their personal life from the policies what they represent, especially in the president. I mean, for the local congressman, it may play a factor in, right? But when it comes down to picking the president, they don't care about people's personal lives anymore. I think Obama broke that barrier. And George Bush in particular, really, George Bush Jr., when he openly admitted that, he was an alcoholic, and people accepted him. Then Obama took it another step further. He said, man, I used to snort coke, and so it just as much. And of course, we know Donald Trump has his own issues, right? And so everyone accepted that. Everyone knew about Stormy Daniels when it started to break, and they knew he was a womanizer.
That's the entire thing. Joe Biden goes back to the old school days in the sense that he's a family man. His wife is a lecturer at university. She is Dr. Jill Biden, so she has a career on her own. She stands on her own 2 feet in a sense. And
she's not the president.
What's that?
Well, she's not the president.
Well, she's the first lady. But when you look at the entire package of your president, you want to see something of stability. Obama had that stability in that sense. Yes, there was no thing with his past, but even George Bush. But when it came to Trump, Melania was nowhere around when it came to doing first lady things,
No, she wasn't interested at all. And actually, they said that she didn't even want to come to the White House. She didn't want to run for office because she wanted him. And I don't know why she wanted him around the house. I just don't understand. I would think she would be happy that she got rid of him, but she didn't want the limelight for herself, I think. She didn't want to be in that limelight. She was happy to spend his money in Trump Tower and just raise her son by herself. She was happy with that. I don't think she liked the limelight. And you could tell, even though she was a model, quote unquote, a model, right? You could tell she didn't like the limelight of that political glare, that public image glare. She didn't mind being in front of the cameras, right? But she didn't like the scrutiny that came with being a first lady, a politician's wife. And some people just can't take that, they can't take the scrutiny and people just looking in their personal life. And I think she just withered under that. And she just retreated more into the White House and retreated more into her family and herself. I just hope Barron comes out even. The son Barron comes out even, Stephen, because he may be warped from that experience in the White House. But the other kids have come out okay. Sasha and Malia are okay. The Bush twins are okay. Chelsea Clinton comes out like she wants to be a politician later on in life. So we'll see what Barron has to say.
Yeah, he's still young. He's a little child. He needs to.
I think Barron's about 18 years old now, man. Barron's a grown man. He's a man.
He's new. I thought he was like 14 or something by now.
No, I mean he was about 13, 14 when they first won, but no, he's a grown man now, man.
Yeah, when they first won, I think.
Yeah, man. It's almost been what 6 years since we first introduced him,
Okay. Yeah, he's around 17, right? Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. He's a man now, man. He can do his own thing now.
He can do his own thing.
Yeah, man. He's a man
But
now.
that raises him if his brothers and his sisters take him under their wing.
Yes, yes,
Perhaps, I don't know. But
yes.
talking America, I know that you shared something with me with United States putting out a travel warning to Jamaica and Colombia.
Yes, yes, citing crime. And the United States says that, because of crime in particular and the lack of emergency services that could get to people quickly in Jamaica is the reason why, and they're putting out this advisory. I think you know exactly why they put out these advisories. These are hit jobs, and I don't think it. Do you think it really deters Americans from traveling where they want to travel?
Oh no, not at all.
No,
But
absolutely not.
I mean, it also comes on the heels. I mean, earlier this week we had UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres there.
Yeah, yeah. And now we have the UK Foreign Secretary visiting Jamaica now, so he isn't worried about any travel advisory.
No, he's not, and he's going there for business reasons, right?
Yes.
So
and he's the first high-level British diplomat to visit the island or to visit the Caribbean since 2017, they say. So
wow.
they welcome him with open arms. They've had royals and they've had people, members of the royal family, but not a high-ranking UK government official that as high as the foreign secretary.
You're right. So he said it's announced some £15 million in funding for violence prevention partnership.
Yeah.
To serious and organized crimes and £7 million for climate finance.
Yeah.
So yeah, I find it very interesting that it's coming, at this time.
Mm.
And I think he's not just visiting Jamaica, but he has 3 other stops in the region. And I find that very interesting because it's South America.
Yes,
it's
Colombia, Peru.
Because Latin America has been seen, as something being ruled by the Portuguese and the Spanish.
Yes.
Not hardly likely England having anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So it begs the question, what is the UK's interest in these South American countries?
Well, the report I read said that they want to build a trans-Pacific partnership with, particularly with the countries on the South American side heading towards the Pacific. But Brazil is on the Atlantic side. So why are they interested in Brazil? They want interested in the Pacific, trans-Pacific partnership. So yeah, I guess the Brexit is taking a toll. There's no more European partnership the way they would have thought they would have had, and so they have to look up for money elsewhere. They have to look for trade partners elsewhere. And so really that's what it is. And I expected them to do this a while back, actually. Something, they should have done this before Brexit.
Yeah.
And look, it looks like a knee-jerk reaction to a Brexit. But going back to Brexit, though, I don't think they anticipated they were going to actually leave the European Union. They thought that British people's, their minds, they thought as if that, they were capable and competent enough to think through the situation and rationalize the situation and said, pulling away from Europe would have been a disastrous affair. And mind you, it had some bumps and bruises, but it has not been disastrous the way they said it would have been. And so I think that they weren't thinking that the British people were just going to pull the trigger and just leave the European Union. And when you think about it, because the United Kingdom is almost like an island separate from mainland, the continental Europe, right? They never really saw themselves as European, right? Yeah, they are in Europe. They're on that side of the world, but they never saw themselves as European in that sense. Neither for Germany and France and Spain, who are on the continental European shelf, right? But they never really saw themselves as being European.
No, but I believe that the EU has a presence there, right?
Yeah.
And they've been quite active in ensuring their linkages remain with Latin America, especially I think they've been building communications with a communications platform with European Union through Latin America, especially these countries, Chile and Argentina, Peru, and things like that. So I believe they're probably trying to probably gain some
bucket list trips. Bucket list trips. I want to go to Argentina, south of Argentina. That's a bucket list trip. Can make it happen. I hope the spirits are hearing me. Make it happen. I want to go to the south of Chile and the south of Argentina. I want to see the mountains. I want to see that South cold region. I want to see it. I hear it's beautiful there, man.
Yeah.
Patagonia. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, but you say building the partnership. Sorry for interrupting you, man. My mind just wanders like a little child. I walk past a flower and I stop. Ooh, look at the flowers.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
I believe they have the European Union had established a submarine cable communications
Mm,
to Latin America and the
mm,
Caribbean.
mm,
And Europe, the EU is the one sponsoring that.
mm,
It's also to ensure some access to the elements that are present in these areas. Because you know, Brazil, they've got these minerals and you can get lithium in Bolivia, Argentina, and Chile. So EU has been there. With
mm.
Brexit, probably, you know, they've got to have, I don't know, find some way, you know. But what do they have? I mean, there's CELAC
Mhm.
with the community of Latin American states and Caribbean states. But I mean, if UK has to do anything, how are they going to do it? They're not part of the Commonwealth.
No, no.
I'm looking at the gateway. You know, EU has the global gateway. What is the gateway
I
for?
think the United Kingdom are going to do what China does really, and what the United States does is that yes, there may be the NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement, and yes, there may be Mercosur and the Caribbean Basin Initiative, but if the Kingdom really wants to, they could sign individual treaties with each one of these countries. It may be laborious, but they'll sign individual treaties with each one of these countries, and do it that way.
I guess, yeah, we wait and see what's going to happen, you
Right,
know.
but bear in mind, though, Kim, leaving the European Union, yes, it was kind of like a short-sighted thing, right? And yes, they are a game in town, but they're not the only game in town. All right, they're not the only game in town. So, you don't be afraid of leaving the European Union. I'll tell them to go buzz off. They're not the only game in town.
They knew exactly why they did it, and they did it
Yeah.
while it was alive. Sadly, their prime ministers had to take the flak for it. You know, Theresa
Yes.
had to deal
Theresa
with
May. Yeah.
political price. And I think every other, we're seeing Sunak is holding on quite a good bit.
Yeah. Because he's got money. That's why.
He's got money. They've got to respect him. He's richer than the monarch. His
Yeah,
wife.
exactly.
It's not him. It's actually his wife that is
Yeah,
richer.
his wife is the heiress. Yeah.
She's the one that has the whole conglomerate and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gotta be mindful of that. So he doesn't wear the pants in his house. Boy, I tell you.
Really need anything from Downing Street, he can take his wife can take him around the world and bring him back home in time.
Yes,
But
yes. Boy, I tell you. I wish I could marry like that, though. I want to marry rich like that.
I think that's every man's dream, right?
Yeah, I want to marry rich like that. But I'm saying that, right? But I don't think I can handle that kind of subjection because he may not be able to say anything in his own house, He may be the prime minister, but he may not be the man in his own house,
Gosh.
Yeah, I don't think I can take that.
That's the other thing about ego is,
Yeah. A real man wants to have say in his own house,
Also, a real man likes to know that he can take care of his wife and do something out of it.
That he's wanted, and he's respected. My husband comes on, you don't have to dance and sing. Oh, my hubby here, like the Beyonce song, I'm going to see my husband. I'm going to see my husband. You don't have to sing that, right? But at least be excited when you see me, We're
going back to the UK's interest.
Yes.
They say that he's there to visit the whole Amazon frontier region and to look at their combating forestation project.
Yes, that Amazon basin is very important, Kim.
It is, because it helps combat global warming. And it's not just for our part of the world, but it does a percentage of the entire world.
Exactly. And we have to protect them at all costs, man, because that is, beside from the Congo rainforest, that is the only significant forest in the world, isn't it, right? That produces the kind of oxygen that it does. There's no other forest in the world like the Amazon rainforest. And yes, there's the Congo forest, in the Congo basin, right? But I mean, it's not particularly it's significant, but it's not on the scale of the Amazon rainforest. I mean, the Amazon rainforest is the largest forest in the world. and it produces how much? About 60% of the world's oxygen,
I believe.
thereabouts. Yeah, yeah. So why would you want to cut that down? Human beings are so stupid, you know. Why would you want to cut that down? First, now they're creating, sorry, now they're creating artificial intelligence to kill themselves. And they're cutting down the rainforest to stop their oxygen. My God, we are destructive, you know. God really loves us to let us destroy his earth the way we've done so, you know.
But anything,
High
I would think
tolerance.
that they would have been going through if we wanted to tackle Amazon. I think you'd have been going through at least your former colony, Guyana. You know, 'cause Guyana is the next English-speaking
Yes.
country in South America.
Yes.
And talking about Guyana, did you hear that Dr. Irfan Ali right now is in Qatar? I think he landed there Sunday or Monday, and they've actually opened up a new embassy. Guyana opened up a consulate in Qatar, which is interesting. It shows that if they're going to access perhaps the wealth of knowledge when it comes to the oil and gas industry, they'll look at Qatar as a partner.
Yes. And I guess it's a good fit too, you know. Qatar is a good strategic partner for oil and gas. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing a lot of the Saudis in the CARICOM lately.
Yes. Oh yeah. They're here, you know, they're here. They're seeing the strategic value, you know, of the Caribbean. And here's the thing though. I don't understand why the Caribbean leaders have not cozied up to Guyana with all this oil. You know, we're still trying to get up close to Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela with Venezuela and all, but why haven't you cozied up to Guyana? They have oil, you know.
I believe that they know that President Mohammed Irfan Ali has done some. He has said his promises already. Once it happens, you know, the Caribbean will have some supply, just like Trinidad and Tobago was responsible for a percentage. You know, when it came to supplying the region with these energy resources. I believe it is expected of Ghana to do the same. He has spoken about it at several meetings, and I believe we will see it once they come on stream.
I hope so, because we helped them.
Right now, they're all about setting up the infrastructure. So they still need to set up a refinery. Right now, they just have the floating facility offshore.
Yeah, but Exxon's doing that, right?
Yeah. So they need to ensure that they've got their own infrastructure in place before they decide to send across. You know, it's not just bunkering and oil and things like that. Some people would actually like the pipelines direct from Ghana.
They like it old school.
Yeah.
That's what we went to Qatar for.
Trinidad did it, you know, with neighboring islands like Grenada, I believe.
Okay.
We'll see. But, you know, I believe he's looking to learn. There's an exchange of knowledge. He think that Ghana needs to learn from Qatar because of what they've done with their land space and being, you know, that exporter of natural gas. Well, I mean, you can learn from Trinidad, but hey.
Yeah, see, it goes back to what I just said. Yes, then why haven't we been cozying up to Guyana? You know, we need to come around the table, man, and help them and let them help us too. You know, because God knows we've absorbed a lot of their nationals over the years. You know, so I mean, come on, man, let's be reasonable here. You're in the region, we could buy oil. We don't have to go all over the place to find the best price of oil. Sign an agreement, just like how Petrocaribe was with Venezuela. You know. And it looks like hate to me, you know, Kim. It just looks like we just can't look at Guyana winning right now, and that's how it looks. It just looks it looks so incredibly embarrassing, you know. Why can't we sign an agreement with Guyana for oil? I mean, it looks so small and petty.
It's still trying to get their ducks in order. As far as I see, I'm going to give them some time. They've got a grace period, right? It's been how many years now since they've discovered it? They're still trying to work out their local content agreements. They're still trying to work out their legislation as to how their tax agreements and all these things are going to work out for their people.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes.
They got to sort themselves out first, right?
Exactly. It's a young energy resource country. They're now tapping into it. They've had this whole thing with the change of administration. So it's taking some time to formulate everything. It will come in time, I believe.
I hope so.
Irfan Ali has been gracious when it comes to agriculture.
Mm,
That has been he's the chairman of CARICOM when it comes to agriculture. He's been leading the way in that sense.
mm,
They've shared crops, they've shared livestock, they've
mm.
opened up their lands for growing of crops or
Yeah.
sharing in the
Yes.
Caribbean.
Yes.
That's something short term that can be done.
Mm.
When it comes to oil and gas, it's exploration, it's drilling, it's
Mhm,
formulating these agreements to make sure these companies don't rob you.
mhm,
When it comes to these big multilateral companies like Exxon and more, these energy companies in states, Shell and Chevron and what have you, you
Mhm.
want to make sure that you have your legislation in order, that
Yes.
nothing is, running amok, that you're going to lose out your profits and earnings.
Mhm, mhm.
And
Not
then
to
they
get
also,
you're an oil and gas reporter, Kim. Show off, Kim. Show off.
I mean, living in Trinidad and Tobago has taught me so many things.
Mm,
It takes a good while before you see things happen. They talk about it. Exploration takes a while.
mm,
Digging in right now, they have an understanding of their geographic locations of where they can drill, where they can go,
mhm,
how deep they can go. They have a just right now, it's a rough estimation of how much they are able to tap into.
mhm.
As into the act, setting up the infrastructure when it comes to drilling and getting this is another.
Mm.
They're still young. Give them some time. We can't be, knocking on the door right now. Give us gas, give us oil, It's gonna take some time.
But be proactive. Weren't we just talking about the United Kingdom not being proactive on Brexit, and they should have been signing up these agreements in the event that they were to agree to a Brexit. So maybe we should just be in an anticipatory mode, just to ensure. Well, Guyana has oil, so be at the front of their doorsteps, be right at
Yeah,
the doorstep.
I've heard Guyana talk about their willingness to share.
Yeah, man.
So
And we should be begging.
we don't need to. I don't think so.
Hmm.
I have faith that they will eventually come around.
I hope so. Because I think it's important that the CARICOM Secretariat is in Guyana, and I think it's good. It's fortuitous, they saw ahead a game, because it could have been in Jamaica, it could have been in Trinidad. They put it in Guyana.
Yeah, they've got the landmass, I believe, perhaps.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. But yeah, back to this travel advisory to Jamaica though. They said that the crime was out of control, man. So I guess you guys in Trinidad aren't doing so bad since they put on a travel advisory.
We
Yeah.
actually got a travel advisory put out in April.
In April,
But
okay.
increased it to what tier? I think tier 4 or something like. It was really bad.
Okay. And you guys haven't come down since that?
No, we have not. I mean, right now it's really horrible.
Mm,
This travel it's for the entire country. Basically, when I look at it on the U.S. Embassy's travel advisory site,
mm,
telling you where not to go.
yeah.
Basically, the entire country.
Just don't travel at all.
That police is not responding, and
Yeah, it's bad, essentially travel at your own risk, if something happens to you, don't come looking to us. And they also put an advisory against Colombia as well too, they call Colombia a terrorist state. Jesus
I
Christ.
understand that.
Yeah, they said Colombia is a terrorist state, man. Not a terrorist state, but be careful of the terrorism in Colombia. Like, what is Colombia doing?
I think we are at level 3.
Mm,
The last one was issued, in April,
mm.
telling you be careful of traveling to Trinidad and where to go, where to avoid.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
Jeez.
this one with Jamaica, it is telling you that because the police is not going to respond. Here in Trinidad, I as I told you, we had a joint select committee meeting with our police commissioner today.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
She's actually wrapping up because her retirement is in June.
Really? So why would they give a job to a woman who's retiring right away? She has not got the job, didn't she?
It's just going through the entire ranks of everything. I don't think they're going to extend her stay, her duration if her retirement is in June.
Yeah. So why give her the job in the first place? She was a stone's throw away from retirement. Why would you give her the job in the first place?
Exactly. Because there's not much that she can do during this time, right?
No,
with
it's
an
not just lamed up.
having the impact that she would have envisioned.
No.
So today she actually admitted that she had planned. Now
Mm,
this is before we knew that she was going to retire. I believe
mm.
she had planned to implement some things by June. She has not met her goals as initially set out.
Mm.
She was also questioned about the whole Brand Thomas issue.
Yeah.
And what jurisdiction does the Commissioner of Police? Because these things would have to go through her office, if not her.
Yeah.
To have, gotten that flight out to Barbados with the RSS. So she said,
is she a token head? Is she a token position for a female to be the first female commissioner of police? She sounds absolutely innocuous. She sounds flaccid as hell. Yeah. She sounds weak, man. And I want to support females in these positions as much as possible, right? But she's not sounding too good, and to be retiring right away, that don't sound too good, Kim. That sounds like this is just for the history books whatsoever.
Yeah.
And somebody else is actually running the police force, that doesn't sound right. And you ladies should not want that. You should want someone who you guys could respect and look up to. Say, this is a woman who's in charge. She's getting ready to leave, Kim.
Getting ready, yeah. So they had a tea party about 2 weeks ago, and they got upset. Having a tea party in the midst of crime being like this. Now I could understand I think they were having a fundraiser for the female police officers, and probably it's the first time that a female police commissioner is at the helm. So why not celebrate her during this occasion?
But a tea party for a police officer? A tea party? Really? A tea party?
Yeah.
That doesn't strike fans of the hearts of criminals.
No, it does not. But no, this is like the women's police officers deciding they're going to do something to raise funds for I think it was a fellow police officer that was in need of something. She attended that. I mean, I could understand you need time, but the people they were angered. They were angered by her taking time to do this when people are being killed every single day.
Yeah.
Multiple murders.
Every criminal in Trinidad was probably laughing at. She's having a tea party while they're dancing on somebody's corpse.
Right. And
see why people have reservations about females in leadership, Kim. Now you understand what we're talking about right here now. I don't want to be insulting. Now you understand what we're talking about here.
But the thing is, what it goes back to even the police officers themselves. What are they doing? Now, they knew that the political appointees, they gave her this position because of the time frame. She's passing on to someone else that's probably in the wings ready to take on her role. I'm not sure what's going to happen come June, because even her predecessor, we didn't even know that he was supposed to leave.
Wow.
The way it was done, it begs the question: was he thrown out because he raised the whole issue of port security and our borders? It was quite an embarrassment on the police service and the government.
Yeah.
When the acting police commissioner said something like that. She was a deputy police commissioner. She was quiet. We did not hear about her until last year. Last year, I began seeing that they were pushing for her, because when I worked at morning television, they said, you need to interview her. It's her first time. And the communications personnel of the police service, they pushed for her to be on television. She needs to have an appearance. She needs to be questioned. You can talk to her. Don't ask her the hard questions. La, la, la. And it's then I started to see that they were trying to get her in that position. Okay. She needs to get warmed up and acquainted with the public. The public needs to know about her.
Yeah, she started off wrong.
Other than that, we did not know about her. But
yeah, she started off wrong. Don't ask her tough questions. Don't ask her tough questions.
That's always the communications at the police service, because they don't want to talk about. They really don't want to talk about the crime. They don't want you. If you ask them the hard questions as to why is it the police officers don't respond? Why is it they say they don't have no vehicles? Why is it your police officers treat domestic violence abuse victims like this? When a girl is like, even the girl that a few girls that went missing and their bodies were turned up. There's this notion in police officers, they throw a joke and say, oh, she going to take man.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. We have the same thing here too. Yeah.
and this time she's been kidnapped, and you find
Mm.
her body down a precipice.
Oh God. Every
And
missing child, every missing woman should be taken seriously. No matter what we say about them, every missing woman needs to be taken seriously. Don't care if she's 14 or 40, she's missing. And
exactly,
she may be out with a man, but something else may have happened. You're not sure.
you
You're
never
not sure.
know. But even so, even when men are abused, they laugh at him. Oh, you're a sissy.
Oh
You
yeah, indeed. I get it all the time, Kim. Take for example, I'm glad you brought this up. Take for example, Kim. Take for example. Didn't I tell you I was at a strip club about several months ago, and this female security guard, she groped me, she felt me up, she felt every part of my body and my crotch, and in an appropriate way. Well, I was sitting at the table with my girlfriend. I told you the story, right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, and they were laughing at me. But I said, if this was a female, if you guys were felt up by a male security guard the way I was felt, you guys would not have taken it funny. Because it's me, because it's a man, it's funny, right? And a woman did it's funny, right? No, it's not funny, man. It's not funny. It's not funny. I don't appreciate that. And sexual harassment against men is not taken very seriously. Like, they expect us to have sex with some of these women. Why do you want me to have sex with this beast? This she beast. I'm not attracted to no fat sloppy girl. That's not me. That's not me. I said, especially not a fat sloppy old woman. So why should I have sex with somebody who I don't want to have sex with because of this and that? Because we go through the same thing too, Kim. It's just we don't say much about it, especially now with women getting more and more into positions now of power and influence. We have to endure the same thing. I guess they think it's get back because of what they went through, right? But no, it's all about integrity. If you're a woman of integrity, you would not have done it. If you're a man of integrity, you would not do it. God will find another way open for you if you don't want to do it. So don't blame it on the system. That's how I see things.
But the thing is, that she came before the Joint Select Committee meeting today. A few days after, she rated herself as excellent.
Yeah, of course she would, right?
Days on the job as being excellent,
But how much murders in Trinidad now, Kim?
It's how many days of the year, and we're crossed over 200 murders by now.
Yeah, and she's having a tea party.
Yeah, and being asked, she doesn't want to be asked the question. She can't answer a lot of the questions. Obviously, she has her men on the side that are able to answer questions when it comes to what's happening with the forensics, what's happening with the bullets, because they, apart from the regiment bullets, you also have TTPS bullets showing up, spent shells that were not, expelled through by a police officer. It's criminals, and how are the criminals getting in contact?
Yeah.
How are the criminals accessing your weapons?
Yes. So if she's leaving in June, Kim, you guys should be happy, man. You guys should be thankful. You guys should have a parade, a ticket day parade.
It's not a matter of that, because we're concerned about who is next. Need someone to really get a grip on crime. And
Bring Gary back. Bring Gary back.
You're not going to do that. Passing the baton to the next one. Okay, this one didn't work. Let's pass the baton to someone else. It's always been an acting police commissioner.
Yeah, that's corrupt in itself.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's corrupt in itself. Someone's a high-ranking politician is very corrupt inside Trinidad. I don't want to call any names, but someone is very corrupt, and they have these this police commissioner on a tether so they can control them. So someone's manipulating that police force behind the scenes, and it could be very nefarious in the criminal element. And so you guys have a serious problem. This is worse than what the Chief Justice's name was, Ivor Archie. Oh my goodness, Ivor Archie was so incredibly compromised that it was embarrassing, man. It was embarrassing, man. Come on, man.
He's still present.
Yeah, and it was bad. What he went through with what is the guy who was claiming he had an affair with? I forget his name, man. The guy had to run to the United Kingdom saying he was under,
right,
yeah, he's under threat for his life. Yeah, that was an embarrassing situation, man. Nobody, Chief Justice or even a regular businessman in Trinidad should not have to undergo that kind of pressure and scrutiny. That kind of intense public scrutiny of their private life. And come to find out, that guy was a dirtbag anyway. So anyway. I don't want to slander anybody on LimeVibe because we're doing pretty good. We're batting We're batting pretty good, Kim. We just don't want to go in that direction. But yeah, someone has a police force under control, man. And someone in the background, a very senior politician or a very senior police officer has that police force under control. And you're not going to see them. They're going to stay in the shadows and they're going to continually manipulate whoever's in charge of that police force. I could see it. That's patently obvious now.
I mean, the line of questioning when it comes to getting a grip on crime today at the Joint Select Committee meeting shows that they're not really cut out for the job. It's a big joke. Or police, they kept asking questions as to, what are you doing about the morale? One minister, a government minister, actually said that police morale is at the ultimate lowest because they have not gotten salary increases and promotions have not been carried out since 2013.
Wow.
But apart from that, they're not performing. You call police to come out, they're saying they don't got vehicles. You tell them there's a robbery, they're afraid. When they rather set up speed traps along the highway and catch you and give you a ticket for speeding. Like,
so what happened to that big burly police officer? He's come on the media all the time. The big muscular guy. What happened to him? He used to be with Ian Eileen all the time.
That's Alexander. He has his own show, television personality. I don't really consider him, one.
A police officer. Hey, he was a big clown. Remember when he arrested Ian Eileen about several years back? See, but this is what I see when I look at Trinidadian media. I see these people, these personalities. I see Gary Griffin. I see Ian Eileen. I see Officer Alexander. I see these people. So this is what you guys give us. So I have nothing else to go on.
That's what we have. That's oh my Lord, that's really poor.
You see what I mean, right? So you guys have to control the narrative. That's who I see when I see Trinidad, And these are some real characters, man. They're not even characters, they are caricatures. Ian Eileen is an absolute caricature, And Philip Alexander, the other guy, they're caricatures, man.
Everyone's a character here in Trinidad. It's an ongoing comedy fest.
I see that. And the other guy that pops up every now and then, Leo Sayers, the guy who's the
Yes, Trevor Sayers.
Trevor Sayers, right. Leo Sayers is a singer. Oh my goodness.
It's amazing. Oh my I'm just looking at it from your perspective, right? Everyone just viewing Trinidad as this ongoing comedy fest. It all comes back to Trinidad. And this is it. Everybody's trying to get Trinis to rally and to have a protest. Why aren't you protesting? Why aren't if it was someone else in power, you would have protested. You're already in the streets. And this is, it goes back to what the finance minister said, right? Finance Minister Imbert said, I raised fuel prices 3 times and they have not rioted yet.
Wow.
He can get away with it, right?
Yeah.
So, this is all Trinidadian politics, but it shows our culture and our mentality in the sense that, the country, and even they sang a song about it one year and one the road where the country could burn down. We jamming still.
We jamming still. We jamming still.
That's culture.
Blowing jokes. But I shouldn't laugh at you guys because we have our own caricatures here in the Bahamas too. I guess every country has their own personalities, right?
In the sense that it affects policies and the way the country is governed.
Yeah. But Trevor Sayers doesn't affect policy inside Trinidad, right? He's just a
part of the politics. He was a wannabe politician at one point in time.
Wow.
So, and they can stir up enough trouble to, cause government to even move away. And they're throwing out red herrings. Right, red herrings is thrown out. Everyone's attention and focus has been redirected to something else rather than the burning matter.
Yeah. Like crime.
Exactly.
Like crimes. It's sad. You say 200 murders for the year already, Kim?
Over that. And how many years how many days have gone by for the year?
Yeah, it's not even out of May yet. You know, January, February, March, April, May. That's yeah, it's
And
5 months.
the whole issue of home invasions. Now she's saying that home invasions have gone down by about 2%
Mm,
since when compared to the same period last year. This is her report today.
mm,
And it's like, how is it you can say that every day you're hearing a house has been broken into?
mm.
You're hearing businesses being robbed every single day. Businesses, multiple businesses.
But she's having a tea party.
This is the way of life in Trinidad. We just have
Yeah.
everyone calls us we're sitting ducks in our own homes because you
Yes,
never
yeah.
know the next target. And honestly, it's a good bit of prayer. And had it not been for prayer, I think I would have been a nervous wreck. An
Oh
even
yeah,
greater, bigger nervous wreck.
I can imagine. But you guys can have licensed handguns, right?
No,
No.
it's now being passed that hey, you can apply for firearms users license, the FUL.
Mhm.
But there are stipulations, a long thing from happening. People aren't getting it. Heck, we can't even have pepper spray. We have to get a license to get pepper spray. Women
Pepper spray.
have
Wow.
to get a license to get pepper spray.
Mm.
They've been complaining even at the JSC. She's saying that a lot of people are having problems and difficulties with accessing it, the forms on the website and things like that. So it comes down to a whole set of checks and balance checks, background checks before you can even get access to these things.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But importing it is one thing. Can't. So how are women supposed to defend themselves when they're
Exactly.
targets?
At least you want our prime minister. He said he's going to give you guys. He said he's going to give the women here a whistle, a rape whistle. Say if you're getting attacked, you could blow the whistle and somebody come and help you. A rape whistle, and he was lampooned for that. Say you're going to get he's going to give women a rape whistles. Jesus Christ. Yeah, right. That makes you feel comfortable, doesn't it, Kim? Come to the Bahamas. We're going to give you rape whistles. Oh my goodness. But that's the life, these guys just don't take it serious, and we have to remind ourselves, politicians would tell you almost anything to make you get away from out of their face and asking any tough question. They'll tell you any damn thing. Rape whistle, they'll say, oh no, no one's gonna protest me. I can imagine what Raleigh tells you guys,
You can listen to him any day, anytime.
Yeah. But something I kind of like Raleigh though. I mean, I'm not anti Keith Raleigh. He's okay with me.
You need to come and live in Trinidad for a little while, and everyone will hear.
But he keeps winning elections, Kim. He keeps winning elections, and he beat the same woman twice. He's probably going to beat her again the next time around too.
There's a lot of questions over that. I mean, last time elections was held during the pandemic. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think he's going to run. He's trying to prime up someone else because he says he wants to retire.
Yeah, I think he's been prepping Stuart Young, to be honest with you.
That's
not that he wants. That's not going to happen. Why not? Stuart
Young does not. He doesn't summon the black vote. You can say basically.
Oh wow. Okay.
And the PNM has been touted as being a black party, even though their financiers are otherwise. Just like UNC has been touted as an Indian party. Not necessarily got Indians and Africans on both sides. They really thrive off race and that divisiveness from race.
Yeah. It's bad in Trinidad, man. I feel sorry for you guys. I used to work with a Trinidadian economist when I was at the IDB, several years back. He said that the politics here in the Bahamas is pretty tame compared to what we deal with in Trinidad because of the race issue. And it's really sad, though. It's one Trinidad, man. But you guys come together for Soca and Calypso, though. So at least hold that narrative. Don't let politics divide Soca and Calypso.
I mean, I'm not going to look at that. I just think that is stupidity. I really do not care about race when it comes to politics. Because to me, it's who's doing a good job, who's governing, who's going to tell you, hey, you did crap there. Who told you to do that? Why, and I'm not going to vote for you because of that. But if you're giving me policies and you're causing the country to see economic growth, you're seeing things happening in the country, you're getting roads, you're getting good health care. That's what I'm going to vote for. That's if people really want change, that's what they vote for. They're not going to vote on race. Race really does not matter to me. You can be what? Just once you're providing something good for my country.
Yes,
once I'm
yes,
like safe, once you're making that impact on my life.
yes, yes, yes. At least you're getting something. At least you're getting something to bite on with the UNC and the PNM. And the Bahamas, we have nothing but personalities. You know, we vote on personalities if we like you today or not. That's really what it boils down to. You know.
There was this party, and this
And
is
that is particular. I find that to be more. I find it to be particularly insidious when it comes down to personalities, because you're looking at two black leaders, one side black, and then what exactly are you really voting on? What are you offering me aside from you? I like you more, and I don't like this guy as much.
this is why when I covered Bahamian elections in 2017, I was drawn to the DNA.
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
I was drawn to the DNA because not because what's his name, McCartney was
Yeah.
was a kind of handsome dude.
Oh Lord.
I'm not watching from a woman's perspective,
He's a heartthrob.
but because of the you're brought the professionals, the intellectuals to the fore.
Yes, yeah.
The policy changes that would impact your country's growth and
Yes.
economic trajectory, right?
Yep.
Just like how we're drawn towards Myanmar Motley and even Andrew Holness.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a matter of race. It's because they're making the change that you want to see in your own
Exactly.
country.
And in that experience, that's why I realized it's nothing to do with policies here in the Bahamas. It has to do with personalities. And all you have to do is make one slip up, one personality flaw, one foible right before the election. And all your work could be just tossed down into the drain. And we don't like you anymore, so we're going to vote here. It's all about emotions, and they tee us up on emotions. So it has nothing to do with policies, nothing to do with what we have to offer. And mind you, both parties have used the DNA's platform after they've won. They've used several of the DNA's ideas after they've won, but they saw it fit to use them when they win, but not good to campaign on. So I realized that you have to get these people whipped up into an emotional frenzy, man. And these parties are they're very keen at doing that. And so, yeah, it's nothing to do with policies here in the Bahamas. So that's why I say it's kind of insidious. You almost have to slander the person in a very unique and particular way. And it has to be strategic right before the election hits, right before the election day, And so, yeah, and that's what we're dealing with here. And so you can't really hate your brother and sister because they're black, just like you. So it's not a race issue, it's a personality issue. And I hate it, to be honest with you. Because it's arbitrary at the very core, and you can't put a beat on anything sensible. You can't hang your hat on any sensible policy,
Yeah, exactly. As I was talking about the DNA, I was in Trinidad. It reminded me of a party that came out in 2007. It was actually a breakaway from the UNC and the PNM, other intellectuals and professionals in the country. You saw a lot of the university professors actually in this party, the Congress of the People. It was like Winston Duke, he was a former central bank governor.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they had brought some really interesting policies and how they were going to change the country. And it made sense. And in 2007, they got about close to 250,000 votes. They got the popular votes in that sense. But it did not win any seats.
Wow. What happened, man?
They were vexed because it split the votes.
Oh, wow.
So this is it, the whole three-party system. There's a two-party system usually in most countries. And when you bring in a third person, it usually splits the vote.
Yeah, yeah.
But the traditional voters who believe in either PNM or UNC, red or yellow, just like FNM and your what's it, PLP?
PLP, FNM, DNA, yeah. That's the three parties that tried to run. And we had more than that actually, but then that was the three main parties. Yeah. And I did some research on this concept of the two-party system, and why human beings cannot differentiate between any other party besides the two main options. It's a psychological thing, because we equate things to good versus evil. So we need to have a yin and a yang. We can't process any more than that. Once one side is good, the other side has to be bad. And it's a psychological thing. And a political scientist explained this in great detail on several different occasions, why we always tend towards a two-party system. We always have to have a good and a bad, a good versus evil, a yin and a yang. And we just can't process any more than that,
2010, though, 2010, it was the coalition government that won. And every time the UNC had won from the PNM, it was usually through a coalition. They were the People's Partnership. It wasn't really UNC standing on their own. It was UNC joined with the COP, and the NJAC, as well as the MSG, which was the unions. So it was 5 parties that actually came together to form the People's Partnership.
Exactly.
How they won and defeated the UNC.
Yeah. That's how it has to happen, you know. They have to join together and
that's not going to happen. No one wants it. There's no other party. They've been calling the PEP, they've been calling for Guy Griffith and all these other entities to come together, UNC. But Kamala says she doesn't even want that. She's like, we have to win on our own, because I'm not going back in a coalition government, you know.
See, and that's one of the fatal flaws of Kamala. She does not have the ability to bring people together. I realize that with her. She's extremely selfish, you know.
Yeah, everyone has been calling for her to step down, because you're nearing 70. You're nearing 70.
Yeah.
And there's no one else formidable in her own party to take over the helm. Heck, when she won, it was very surprising that a woman, a female leader, took over, you know, because it was a boys' club, and she herself spoke about having to earn her way in a boys' club, which was, you know, Pandy and those guys.
Yeah. and comes back to what I said about female leadership. You know, she kind of like fired herself that election. You know, you realize that, right? Well, she did fire herself because she was the minister of the people, and she said she couldn't. She does not want to be. She gave up that position, so she fired herself essentially before the election. So why would you fire yourself right before the election? And that was right before the election, where she fired a bunch of different ministers from cabinet positions, and she removed herself as the minister of the people, right? I think it was right.
There was a new cabinet portfolio she created, the Ministry for the People, which is social development, and Glenn Ramadas was there, but she had to fire him because he was caught in sexual misconduct.
Oh, okay.
That's why he was removed, and she took back the ministry. I think it was also a ministry under the Prime Minister's office.
Yeah. And she relinquished that from herself as well, right before the election too.
Well, yeah, it's usual that, you know, just before the election, you know, things like that happen. So, but they didn't expect to lose, but she had seen a lot of things. The thing is, whenever her ministers misbehaved in public office, she called them out, and when it happened, she's like, "All right, y'all are fired."
Wrong move.
Sorry, Griffith. And no, but the thing is, that's what the people want. They want to see that you're being.
Did she win the election? Did she win the election as a result of that?
No, no. But even
okay, there you go, Kim.
when it came to watching, so when you see how Rowley has managed his cabinet, and he's let a lot of things slip and slide, because right now they're calling off Foster Cummings. And they're calling out a lot of ministers for wrongdoing, even the Attorney General. And if you have not fired them for misbehavior in office, you know, but you expect Kamala, and Kamala did that. She's like, once you misbehave in office, I'm going to get rid of you.
Wrong move. You don't do that, man.
That was her way of being accountable. And I saw that. And every prime minister ought to do that. If you're behaving that stupid, okay, you really don't deserve, you know, you're allowing your ego to get the better of you.
Yeah. Some things you have to sweep under the rug as a politician. That's why, you know, being a politician isn't for everybody, you know. There's a lot of things you have to sweep under the rug. A lot of things you have to put behind the closet.
It's
sad as that sounds, Kim. It's true.
Yori, listen, look at it. It's how you are measured in the public eye. And the standard that you're held at is not the same standard that the other leader is held at. If the other leaders, I'm not going to be like the other leader. I'm not going.
Don't win. Don't win the election.
And well, we have Rowley to deal with, so it's
exactly. Don't win. Because you can't do anything if you don't win. And that's a sad paradox it is, Kim. You can't do anything if you don't win. And you can't win by being decent all the time. I mean, that's just the nature of politics. It's a dirty game. It's a dirty, sinful game.
She was going to lose either way, because she did not do. If she didn't do it, if she did it, she would have been judged the same way. And that's how Trinidadian politics is.
You know, poor Kamala. You think she's gonna have a chance this election? You think anybody, nobody's gonna step up? I doubt it. Yeah, she's not gonna have a chance. That's a wrap. And it's sad that they can't find another leader inside Trinidad, inside the UNC to replace her. That's more of an indictment on the people in the UNC, to be honest with you. And everyone is looking at that. All the people who may want to vote for the UNC are looking at that and saying there's no other leadership inside the UNC.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see low voter turnout once again whenever that election does happen.
Yeah, I see it. Kim, our went by pretty smoothly. There's no hurry. We had a good conversation tonight, man. I guess you were up and you were bright, you were sprightly. I think because I use podcast virtuoso tonight, so I think that really set the tone tonight. And we really are podcast virtuoso. But something. Thank you for joining me again tonight, Kim.
Not a problem.
Yeah. So there we have another episode of LimeVibe Live podcast in the books. If you have not done so, please like and subscribe to our YouTube page and our Facebook page. Like and subscribe to all of our videos. It really helps us out a lot. We're getting some more subscribers now, Kim. We're getting some more likes and people are really watching these videos now, Kim. We're picking up steam slowly. It's not going to be that snowball down the hill, but we're actually picking up some steam, slow but sure. That's when we get our advertising in place. We're going to be right on the top. We're going to be the best podcast in this Western Hemisphere. So here we have it again, Yuri Cam from the LimeVibe Live podcast, and have a great evening, everybody. I'll see you again on Friday.
Take care.